channel. My name is Aziza, and no matter how you stumbled across this channel, I am thankful that you are here. Please consider subscribing, like this video, and watch a couple other videos on the channel as well. This morning, we just gonna dive into the morning routine, and then we gonna have a little chat, If you watched my last video, you know that everything on this channel is going to be about my empowerment. And the purpose of showing that is to hopefully inspire you to go on an empowerment journey of your own, whatever that may look like for you. Today, I just wanted to dive in and talk about my experience with burying emotions, feelings, thoughts, things I should have said to people, and what that has done to me and how that is now bubbling over the surface, okay? But let's dive right into this morning routine. If you saw the last video, you saw this. I have been using it for about a week, but I've also been eating terribly. I do like how it feels. I like how it cleanses. So we're gonna go ahead and use this right now. And this is what I wash my face with. It's an EOS brush, soft bristles. And I got this from Target a long time ago. They may or may not still have it, I don't know. So, I said in the video before, with the haul and the reintroduction both, I have some self-advocacy problems. I thought that the extent of that was simply not speaking up for myself at times when I really should have. Since then, I've done quite a few things, which we will talk about in this video, but what I have found is that I don't self-advocate at all. I don't self-advocate when it comes to things I should say, emotions I should deal with, things I should be eating. Like, I just don't self-advocate. I put myself completely last behind almost everyone that I care about. And that is not okay. It's no longer okay. And I'm no longer doing it. How did I come to that conclusion? I have been doing meditations, and after one of my meditations, I decided to just, sit and let my spirit, just slowly absorb the information from my meditation. I wanted to see if I sat, could I hear God? Child, did I hear God, okay? I was sitting on my yoga mat after the meditation, and I'm not thinking anything of it. My mind is going down a rabbit hole. And I arrive at a conclusion that kind of shook me up, because it had been about people and feelings that I had long dismissed, and feelings that I had been buried, feelings that I had been operating without. I didn't acknowledge. I didn't believe they still existed, because I thought I had healed from those things, right? I thought I had healed from those things because they didn't exist in my everyday life, right? These are things that I wasn't harboring on actively. And after that meditation, and then I went through a quick spiral and arrived at a conclusion. And I was laying on the floor on my yoga mat, bawling, crying, like full shaking, crying like a toddler, right? And I allowed myself to go through that experience because, one, I knew I needed it. I knew that if this is where my spirit is taking me, I needed to let it go there, right? So for the rest of that day, I'm trying to figure out, okay, now these emotions have come back up. I haven't acknowledged them in years. What do I do with this? Do I need to call and cuss this person out, cuss these people out? Do I need to call my parent and, express it to them, get some advice from them? What do I need to do with these emotions? So, I didn't do anything right away, which is very unlike me because I am extremely impulsive. So I'm always doing things as soon as I think about it, 9 times out of 10, except for when it comes to productivity, because why would I be proactive when it comes to me? But anywho, I decided to sit with those emotions. And by the end of the day, I realized that I didn't need to say anything to anybody. It was for me. It was for me to acknowledge that I had buried feelings instead of healing them. And realizing that for me, I can't hide from the storm. I can't seek shelter in the storm, right? Which this is a particular storm surrounding a particular situation. This can be multiplied to a magnitude unimaginable, right? Depending on how many things you go through, if it applies to you. I cannot find shelter in a storm, right? It may be warm and cozy. It may be cute. It may be fun. But it's still a storm. And I realize that I have to go through the storms. I have to do it in a way that protects me. I cannot try to bring anything else with me except for me. So with that being said, I decided that I didn't need to talk to anybody. I simply just needed to acknowledge that I had buried those feelings and that they were there, and the implications that they had had on my life since all of this had transpired. And at that point, decide that I can heal. I can actually heal from that situation. So that was the beginning of this chapter of the journey. Finding out what emotions are buried. Now, what came after that is just nuts. I want to talk more in depth about an experience I had this weekend with shrooms. When I tell y'all I'm not that girl, right? I don't smoke. I may drink a little socially, right? I'm not the girl who's gonna come and have a glass of wine every night. That just ain't me. I really do most of life sober, right? I do most of life completely sober. Sorry. Just doing another wipe across my face with witch hazel. It's like a good little cleanser, plus it helps me get the makeup off too. So there's that. But I'm not that, I do most of life sober, and I have for almost ever, right? So I have a friend who has been trying to get me to take shrooms for the longest. I have said no for all of that time. But on Thursday, I was having some really, really bad anxiety. And again, this is just me self-diagnosing. I have not seen a therapist. So I have not been formally diagnosed with anxiety. The feelings that I felt, I am going to describe as anxiety, right? So it was like debilitating, okay? I had homework that I needed to be doing. And as I was trying to get to the computer, I was overwhelmed with a rush of emotion. Because I have had so many issues for so long with self-doubt, fear of failure, all of this, right? So now it's boiling over as anxiety as I'm just trying to do a simple homework assignment. Because for whatever reason in my mind, I've catastrophized the entire situation, and I'm gonna fail school just completely, right? That was where I was. I just decided to push through, right? Which I'm not saying is easy, but I took a nap first. And then I decided to get up and do my homework because now it's last minute. Now the urgency outweighs the anxiety for some reason for me. I am a last minute person when it comes to projects, homework. I always have been. Now I'm able to get it done. I know I have a quiz in class later on that evening. I get my notes done. I feel like I'm prepared. I get to class. The quiz is starting. And I feel like I'm about to pass out. I feel like I'm about to fall out of my chair. I literally opened up the quiz in a rush of just like, oh my goodness, I'm about to fail. It was like a sense of doom over a quiz that is not going to really affect my life. But I had to pull myself together, take a couple deep breaths, and go ahead with the quiz. I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out what's going on with this. Now, I decide to self-medicate, let's call it that. Mind you, I just said, I don't be on none of that. What I just put on was the serum from the haul from Sephora. And now I'm gonna top that off with the moisturizer. But anywho, so with that, I decided, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and try shrooms. Let me go ahead and try it, whatever. If it's fun, it's fun. If I get something out of it, I do. Now, okay, yeah. The trip I took started out all fun and games. So I thought that was the extent of it. Okay, this will just be fun. Fine. Yeah, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. It was fun for probably an hour and a half. And then I decided, okay, it's time to chill out. Just go ahead, sit on the couch, and just chill. No. The shroom said, no, that's not what we're doing. I sat on the couch with my friend. He was asleep because he had done this before. So he knew what to do. He knew what to do for himself. I sit on the couch and I immediately start crying. And I'm like, okay, all right. Just let the tears flow. You'll be fine in a couple seconds. No, I was not fine in a couple seconds. I was not fine in a couple minutes. So in my mind, because I'm always considering other people, I was like, let me get up off the couch. Let me go get in the bed. I get in the bed and now I'm crying harder. Like the other day when I was laying on the yoga mat, now I'm crying, bawling out like a toddler again. Anywho, I'm done. All right, I'm back. So where did I leave off? So I'm in the bed, bawling out. I have this overwhelming urge to just get some things off my chest. I come out, I wake my friend up, and I begin to weep. I'm weeping like I'm grieving. And we have a conversation. I had gone to the bathroom and had a moment in the mirror with myself Again, weeping. I'm having all of these emotions that I haven't allowed myself to have, that I haven't had in a while, that maybe I have explored a little bit, but okay, that's enough now. Get back to daily life. Eyes swollen, nose swollen, lips swollen, just from crying. And I was okay with that in the moment. It didn't bother me. I wasn't scared. I just knew that all of this needed to be happening for my sake. I was mad at other people. And because I had had that experience after meditation, I knew. I didn't know. My spirit knew and didn't allow me to call people at 1 a.m. that it wasn't for me to express myself to them. It was for me to acknowledge what I had been doing to myself, right? I cannot blame other people for being them. I can only take accountability for what I have allowed other people to do to me. And that's what that experience was about. Acknowledging that I have let things happen to me without properly acknowledging, healing, and moving on from those experiences for years. For years. Years of emotions came out in one night. After the emotions had finally been released, right? And I could acknowledge the space that I was in, I really felt different. We're in the kitchen. We're in my kitchen here in my house. Just having random conversation. But I'm seeing differently. I'm experiencing what I'm seeing differently. It's all my same stuff. Nothing changed. I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't seeing colors. None of that was happening. But the way that it was translated from my vision to memory to my brain was differently than I had just been experiencing it, right? And so we go from laughing to, having deep conversations to, we talked for hours. It was probably about 2:00 in the morning at this time. We probably talked until about 4:30-ish. We probably talked about 4:30-ish. And in all of this time, I'm cleaning up. I can't help it. If I see it, I got to clean it right then and there. So when I finally get to a point where I could sit down, I sit down and I have more conversation with my best friend. Thanking them for guiding me through that experience, for making sure I was safe through that experience, and for sharing that with me, because I didn't know where it was going, but it turned out to be exactly what I needed. I am not advocating for you to do what I did, okay? In no way, shape, or form am I telling you to go out and do shrooms. I'm not. Nope, not saying it. But you should be grown watching this video. You can make your own decisions. I would say if you decide to do it, make sure you are at home. If you have not done it before, be at home with a person that you trust. So since then, right, this was a couple nights ago. Since then, I've continued on this deep clean. I rearranged my living room. I'm probably gonna do some more rearranging today. And moving forward, I know I'm a different person. I know I'm a different person, and I know it sounds crazy and fake and like a bunch of fluff to think that one night would change you as a person, but for me it did, because it allowed me to release so much of what was holding me back. It allowed me to apologize to myself for all that I have done to myself and all that I have allowed to be done to me. And I want to make sure I maintain this sense of self going forward. People are going to have to experience me differently because I need to protect me. Everything and everybody that I experience has to either protect or progress my empowerment. And that's not on them. I'm not saying that you need to be trying to empower me. I'm saying that I'm protecting and progressing my empowerment. And if you do anything to hamper, hinder, stop, block, obstruct that, you have to go. You do not get to be a part of my experience any longer. And I also want to acknowledge the truth of who I was before. It's going to be a major shift for me to put me first because I've always put everybody else first. I have always people pleased. I have always been the person that other people could rely on no matter what. I have always been the person that will forgive and forget and move forward with no judgment, without holding back. I have always been the person to love and respect without making people have to earn it. So with a shift, a slight shift in that, because I don't want to change who I am fundamentally, with a slight shift in that, I know that some feathers are going to get ruffled, right? We know that when you grow, you lose people along the way, right? And I have realized that I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to be okay with losing people who are not meant to continue on, not only because that's their choice, but because I realize that as I become more whole, I don't need a bunch of people around to fill voids. As I become more whole, the people that are going to be around me are going to be people that are becoming whole themselves. So here we are, continuing on this journey of empowerment. I hope you got something out of this video today, and I hope you continue to take this journey with me. I hope that somewhere along the line you are inspired to take the steps to become your best self. And that's all I want for you, because that's all I want for me.